Today I'm going to be talking about the 7 books I read in January. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 7 books I read in January. This month I technically started another book, but I ended up DNFing it, but I'll get to that. But yeah, let's get into it. These are the 7 books I read in January. The first book I picked up this year was Lightlark. I saw Ravenhead Reader say in one of her vlogs that for her first book of 2025, she wants to make sure that is going to be a really good one, and I really like that. So this has been on my TBR for ages, and reading the back of it, I knew that I would love it. I decided to pick it up for my first book for 2025. I was not disappointed. I ended up giving this book a 5 star. So in this book, the rulers of their continent or their world are trying to break a curse. Every 100 years, the island of Lightlark appears, and the 6 rulers have to go onto this island to try and break the curse. Each ruling land has different powers, but since the curse, each ruling land has also been given their own curse. So our main female character is the ruler of one of the lands, and she is a wildling, so they're able to control nature. But the curse that they've been given is that if they fall in love with someone, they have to kill. One of the other ruling places, they have star power, but their curse was that they can only live until 25 years old. So really interesting concept. There is a love triangle that goes on in this book, and I don't know how I feel about love triangles. I am rooting for Aro, but I know a lot of people root for Grimm. So yeah, there's lots of tension between the characters. It's a really good read. I had to pick up Nightbane straight after Lightlark because I could not help myself. In this book, the main female character learns more about herself and who she is, and she is developing and is figuring out who the other characters are and what they mean to her. It goes between 2 timelines, so it's been really nice to see where she comes from and what was previously happening in her life. I ended up giving this a 4.25. I still thoroughly enjoyed it, but like I was saying about Lightlark, I was struggling a little bit with the love triangle. I am really excited to pick up the 3rd book, Skyshade, which I will probably pick up now in February. The 3rd book I picked up was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. The main female character has made a bargain with a dark god for her to live forever, but in making that bargain, she has to give something up. So she gets to live forever, but no one remembers who she is. So basically she'll walk into a cafe and might meet someone there, but if they get up and go to the bathroom and come back, they're not going to remember who she is. Or if she signs a contract for a rental property, if she shows up at the property, the landlord's not going to remember who she is and will outcast her. And one day, this female main character goes into a bookstore, and for the first time in hundreds of years, someone remembers who she is. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to give away the plot. I had read so much hype about this book. I had seen lots of TikToks about it, lots of YouTube videos. I thought I was going to thoroughly enjoy it, but I was surprised that I only gave it a 3 star. I felt like the book was a little bit repetitive. It was going through a few scenes in different ways quite a couple of times. I get while the author was doing this, she was showing how hard it was for the character to know that people were just forgetting her, not knowing who she was. Her writing style is really lovely to read. I just wasn't gripped throughout the book, so that's why I ended up giving it a 3-star. But I'll definitely pick up other V.E. Schwab books in the future. I then picked up Fourth Wing. You will already see my vlog on reading Fourth Wing. Like I said in it, I absolutely love romantasy books, but I've not yet picked up the Fourth Wing series, and with Onyx Storm being released last month, I was feeling a little bit left out and wanted to join in the hype, so I thought January was the perfect time to pick up Fourth Wing. In Fourth Wing, I'll give a brief explanation because I'm sure most of you have already picked it up. In this world, there is a war college where people can go to either be a scribe or a dragon rider or a healer. So to become a dragon rider, it is quite deadly. They have to go through challenges. So our main female character, her mom is the general of this war college, and she wants to go to be a scribe, but her mom has decided that no, she needs to become a dragon rider. So she ends up going through the process and the challenges of becoming a dragon rider. She is described as quite fragile and weak, even though she is a really confident, strong-willed person. She has not been training her whole life to be a dragon rider. She wanted to be a scribe. So she has to overcome being fragile and has to train to try and become a dragon rider. In the war college, she meets Zayden, who is the son of her family's greatest enemy. He at first is quite ruthless, but then she starts to develop feelings for him. But yeah, really, really good. Really, really good. This was my second 5-star of January. I, of course, had to pick up Iron Flame next. I feel like there was not as much plot as Fourth Wing. However, the ending went absolutely crazy. In this book, our main female character grows more and develops more, but I don't want to give anything away because if you've not read this yet, it is still a really good read. And then picked up Onyx Storm. I had to pick it up straight away after the ending of Iron Flame. I don't know how you guys all waited a year to read Onyx Storm, because the way Iron Flame ended was crazy. The cliffhanger was almost unbearable. So now I was able to pick it up within a couple of days. I don't know how you guys waited so long. I ended up giving Onyx Storm a 4.25 star. Like I was trying to explain in my reading vlog on the series, I thoroughly enjoyed the middle portion of the book because they go on a quest and it is different locations, different settings, you're getting to see whole other worlds. But I didn't enjoy the first part and the last part as much as I enjoyed the middle of the book. I also felt like there were a lot of new characters introduced, a lot of new terms and places and people that you got to know that did make the first part of the book quite confusing. I laughed at how a lot of people said after waiting a year after reading Iron Flame, it was quite confusing to read the first part of the book, but I had just read Iron Flame. I was still a little bit confused, so yeah. I still gave it a 4.25. I still enjoyed it a little bit more than I did Iron Flame, and will definitely pick up the next book when it comes out. I think it's going to be a 5-part series. But now I have to join the rest of you and wait like another year or so to read the next book. I then was in the mood for an audiobook, so I went onto my library app and saw that Scythe was available. It is a 2016 release. I knew that it was a bit of an older book, which I was absolutely fine with. It was also a science fiction book, which I also like reading every now and then. Scythe is a dystopian world where their AI equivalent, called the Thunderhead, has abolished all poverty or sickness and disease, and everyone in this world is basically now immortal and can live for as long as they want to. But because of this, there has now overpopulation. So their world and system has introduced people called scythes, which are people who randomly select other people to make unalive. The term that they use in the book is gleaned. These scythes are held at high esteem and are highly respected in the community because their job is to make sure that there's no overpopulation. So the start of this book was really, really gripping. The first chapter, I was like, oh wow, okay, I'm into this book. However, after that first chapter or two, it went downhill very quickly for me. There's a main female character and main male character. They are teenagers and they become apprentices to a scythe. Only one of them at the end of the scythe program can survive, so they're competing to become a scythe. The premise is really good, but I found that I was actually quite a little bit bored throughout the book, so ended up giving it a 2.5 star. But like I said, I didn't want to give it anything lower than that because it was still a really good premise and the writing was really good. I was just not having the greatest time. The book that I DNF'd, the next book I picked up was Thunderhead, which is the second book in the Scythe series. I probably shouldn't have picked it up if I didn't really enjoy the first one, but because it was available through my library straight away, I was like, let me just give it a try. I am someone who does not typically DNF books. I am someone who really, really likes to push through and read, but I was not having a great time. So I thought there are a whole lot of other books that I want to get to and decided to make the decision to just DNF the book. And that's just my opinion. It might have been the wrong timing to read the book. However, if you guys have read the series, I would love to hear if you guys ended up finishing it and enjoyed it, or if you would recommend that I pick it up again in future. I would love to hear your opinions and thoughts on it. But yeah, that's me. I read 7 books and then got 30% of the way through an 8th one, but ended up DNFing it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a really good day ahead, and would really appreciate it if you got this far, if you would like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.